All right. Gonna do typical 3, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Nickel roll 1. Oh, so good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's your Saturday going? Don't look like anything extremely old. Just doing my typical 4, 3, 2, and 1 hunt this morning. Gotta get in the right spot here. 23. One. 99. Yeah, I usually set it for a certain time, and then if I get to it, firing it up early, I'll fire it up early. Are you meaning early from like me usually doing my late nights? Usually on the weekend somewhere, if I'm not out of the property, I will do a morning where I, actually do a hunt. And usually the late night streams are where I'm like going through more scoping coins that have already been opened on a stream like this. And then I'll do the actual hunts in the mornings like this. What was that? 08. So if that's what you mean by early, is the fact that it's not a late night stream. We have a thunderstorm going through right now. Pretty good rain and thunderstorm, so that's why. Otherwise, I very typically might be out at the property on a Saturday like this, but it's wet, not enjoyable. A lot of newer looking stuff here in this roll. Couple that we got a shot at maybe being older. I don't know. We'll see here. Looks like there might be a couple darker ones. Here's one. 55. 55D. So it is a hit because it's older than a 60 or older than a 59. 55D is that's not bad. It's 74 million. There's the first hit of the morning. Roll one. That's good. We usually get our daily thunder boomers in the evening and late evening hours. Yeah, we typically do here too, I guess, if I think about like on average. 55D has a D over S mint mark error. That'll be cool. Let's throw that under the scope at the end here. Kind of nice to get the first actual hit in the first roll. 73. I'm excited to have dollars back. I got my restock yesterday. I got a bunch of dollars back for hunting. What's here left? 2,000. Right now, it's the one that's up in the corner of the screen. At least for the year 2025. That's the find of the year right now. Is that 1907 Indian head. What was that? I start talking and I forget what year it was. So that would be like the hit of the year right now. 88. I mean, you find a lot of NIFCs and stuff. 78. But I'll kind of always put the find of the year up in the corner there. But a 55D is not a bad find with only 74 million. It's the lowest minted 55. No, the P is only 8 million, so the P would have been the real hit. 82. $68S. I don't usually get 68 in an S. What's the 68? It's 100 million. Not a bad looking 68. You don't look at any of the errors. I don't know. Just looking at the errors kind of give me something else to chase, I guess. So it's just something else to add to the hobby, you know, to always be looking for. And 2023. All right, so let's place this where these need to go. So there's the first roll, 55 and 68S. 68S has got a little bit of sheen to it yet. Roll number 2 of the nickels. So typically what I'll do is, I'll do like 4 nickel rolls, 3 penny rolls, 2 quarter rolls, and then $1 roll. And that'll kind of be my morning hunt. Red notes. Yeah, I don't have any red notes. I really don't do a whole lot of I don't do any hunting of bills. And I do only save, though, I save star notes when I come across them. Just in the wild, as we buy things and get change back and stuff, I'll save star notes. So it don't look like there's any thing that's going to really stand out as silver in this roll. Trick for me is to get him in the right. There's a 64. And I wouldn't be surprised if this 64, when I get it under the scope, that could be, it's hard to tell with my naked eye, but it might be double rimmed over on this side because of how light it is over here. And right here you can see where it starts to, where the rim starts to thicken out right here as you go around. There might be a noticeable double rim on that. So, what was it, a D? More likely, yes. D. Possible repunchment mark. $2,000. To 91. I like finding proofs though. It's always cool to find proofs, because they weren't meant for circulation. So when you find them in the circulated coins, it's kind of cool. The downside is you're not you're more likely never really going to find real good conditions ones because they're circulated. So here's a 53. What's our better mintage going to be on a 53? Well, the P and D, it's going to be P for the best at 46 million. But it's still going to be low at 59 million for even a Denver. So regardless, it's going to be a hit. Doing well this morning so far. And it is going to be, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. I didn't even mention the S because the S is 19 million. So that's actually the best hit. That is actually the best 53 hit you can get. So we're going to give it another hit, being an S. At 19 million. That's crazy. That is cool. I figured it was going to be a P or a D, so I didn't even mention what the S was. $13. I just figured there was no chance of hitting the S. Oh, 04. So the first two rolls this morning is actually really turning out pretty good. 91. Gonna say that looks older, probably. 64p. Philadelphia. 98. Still a nice sheen on that 20. $87. Another 87 right off the bat. Ooh, 48. Boy, this has been a good hunt this morning already. So, that is definitely going to be a hit. And it is going to be a D. 44 million. Boy, this second roll's been a banger. Might be the best one roll I've had in a while. There's a 73. 5 coins left in this second roll. 54. Another one. 54. What do we want in a 54? Probably Philadelphia's the lower minted one, but it's a Denver. $20. 80. 94, and we're going to end on the second roll with a 99. Wow, couldn't ask for a better second roll. All right, roll 3 of the nickels. This paper didn't want to cooperate that well. So we're going to push these out here. Looks like there's an older one in there. I don't know if it's going to be to the point of being silver. It's definitely something that's got some old color to it. 21. Make sure I keep them in screen here. $90. $2,000. This looks older, but it is only an 81. Come on, focus. There we go. $98. $89 Philly, which I accidentally threw in the 70s jar. 96. $91. A lot of 90s. Whew. That one's seen better days. Coming up to the couple that I thought kind of looked old. 69 D, so it's a 60 keeper, but it's not a hit. 79 D. $2,000. There's a shiny 23. $80 D. Yeah, I'll actually there is Luke's Coins. I like to go and watch him. Boy, a beat up 62. I would typically say that's a 60 keeper, but it's just so bad. It's gonna get slid back into circulation. I won't be keeping that at 73. But yeah, I do. I like to go and watch other guys do live stream. 64, I'm guessing a D because they're so common. Yep. And there's other guys other than Luke's Coins that I watch. It's just, there's so many of them, really. I'll pop into some streams and forget who I'm even watching. 73. Pause spare time. No, I'm not familiar with that one. Is that somebody that live streams and roll hunts? Hard to see, but that is a 17. 72. This is the one I thought looked a little older. But it is only a 72. It just got that kind of... It actually has a little bit of a silver look to it. Thought maybe we would have gotten lucky. $16. Coming down to the end of the third nickel roll. $84, really? And the last of the roll is a 79. I don't know, it's going to be hard to beat that second roll. Especially with that S being in there. Last nickel roll. Good morning. 100K subs. Oh, that sounds cool. I'll have to check his channel page out after I'm done this morning. Oh, really? So he just hit 100K followers or subs? And don't look like there's anything that's standing out in the last nickel roll. I'll definitely have to give him a check here after the stream. 2000p. I'm kind of curious because I think this is the first morning that I'm doing 4 rolls of nickels, 3 of pennies, 2 of quarters, and then the $1. I'm kind of curious as to see how long this stream ends up being. You know, between hunting the rolls and then throwing things on the scope. 90. I'm guessing 3 or 2 hours. Usually I try to keep these morning streams around 2 hours. But it all depends on how many we throw under the scope, too, after the hunt. That sounds cool. What was that? 8? Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually a little surprised that there aren't more younger people in it, but I don't know, it just seems like coins seem to be like, you know, I don't want to say an old guy's thing, but definitely an older hobby base. 61 Denver. So it's a 60 keeper, but not a hit. Another 63 and a Denver. I probably should at some point quit keeping 60s and quit collecting 60s, but I don't know. I just like that particular decade. I think it's worth collecting those still. 71 looks like a D. Here's an 05 Buffalo. Don't look like there's a speared buffalo on it anywhere. Six. There's an 04. Lewis and Clark. 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Sure, why don't you tag me? I'm Central Time, so that's going to be 2 my time. Time zones always mess me up. And with the weather being the way it is today, I will probably definitely be able to have time to sit in his stream. That'll be cool. 1. And old Canadian. 86. I don't know anything about Canadian coins. Usually just set them aside. At some point I look them up. 20. Out of 13, yep, that's 13. Perfect, thank you. 89. How's the audio on the stream this morning? Oh, so seemed pretty decent. 13. Oh, 3. 14. 22. That's handful. There might be one old looking coin in there. Was this it? 97? Definitely no. 97. Well, that's cool. Not a big self-promoter, but 95. And 87. Last nickel of the morning. 2022. So the nickels, definitely nothing was going to beat that second roll. On to the pennies. I did not weigh these to anticipate the copper number, which I'll sometimes do with my penny rolls. Kind of hard to see anything in, pennies that stand out. Roll stuff here. $80. Richard, good morning. Thanks for stopping in. 13. 94. 78. How are you this Saturday morning? 72. We're just into the pennies, Richard. Missed the nickels. The nickels did pretty good, actually, this morning. I was impressed. I got a 19 million minted, is it 53? I don't know. Remember without going back and looking. 86. 76. Oh, 3. 89. 88. 83 with some corrosion. Not a bad looking obverse on that 92. Let's see what the reverse looks like. Not bad. I'm going to kind of set that aside right now. It's not a hit or a keep really, but waking up this morning. Well, thank you. Oh, thanks for stopping in. It's always cool when I got somebody to chit chat with. Oso's been here since I fired it up. $16. If there's anything that looks old in this one or not. 78. Good luck telling this. Woo! Well, that is obviously the reverse. I can tell that. And that's upside down. You can just barely see Lincoln's outline on that one. That one's crazy. 15. 13. 17. Kind of a red 87. Might pull that when it gets scoped in a stream at some point. Yeah, I'm excited to have dollars to search again, that's for sure. Made my bank run yesterday and got a resupply. I think it was yesterday. And then I'm going to start doing, I don't know if you guys saw it on the channel or not, but there's something goofy going on there with the finish of the 84. But I'm going to start doing like once a week. I'm going to do a truck hunt where I just pick a roll of something and crack it in the truck. I'm going to keep a bunch of rolls in the truck just to do that with occasionally. Kind of figured it's kind of a different video than the run-of-the-mill me here at the desk. It's a little harder to do because sometimes it's a little harder to see the coins, but 93D, not a bad looking 93. I sometimes forget how old the 90 coin is now. '82 large date. 97. See, like that ain't a bad looking obverse on that 97. It's got a little bit of circulation on it. 84. Looks like I got another one coming up that's not going to be able to be seen. Well, kind of. We probably get a year. 96. But get rid of that one. 90. threw that one in the wrong jar. I do that about half a dozen times during a stream. 94. It looks like might be something going on with that second 9. Or it's just the way the camera's picking it up and there's a glare. Three more in this roll. 70. This roll, unless this last coin is going to get us out of it, is it going to be a skunk? 86. I don't know, do I have the losing? Yep, there we go. Absolutely nothing pulled from that roll. I don't often hit a terrible roll. All right, let's do the second of the 3 pennies. Well, I guess that saves some space on the desk for hits when you hit a skunk roll. Doesn't look, nothing stands out on the dump. Kind of a minty 06. I always like to spin them just because you never know, you might find a big die chip on the back or something. Not that I wouldn't find it in the scoping process, because that's kind of how I kind of do things, is like all these coins are gonna have their day under the scope also. It's just a long process, that's all. But sometimes you can naked eye just find a big die chip or something that stands out to set it aside right away before you even get it to the scope. There's an 09. We do save 09s. This one's not in great shape. I don't essentially call it a hit. This is, I believe, the formative years. Set it aside. Not a hit, but a keep. Copper. $91D. Another one right off the bat. It's amazing how many times I grab back-to-back years. I mean, the likelihood of doing it, sometimes you would think it would not be good, but can pull it off occasionally. Here's a minty something. A 90. Not too chattered up. I call it chatter. That might be a save once it goes through the scope. 18. Oh, 06. 80. And then once I do like a scoping stream, and usually those are late night streams, like I was saying also, and that's when I'll separate my coppers out. Encroaching on the hit list over there. Oh, for a second, I thought that was something other than an 88. 13. Are the coins, especially now that we're into the pennies, for anybody that's hanging out, are they focusing okay and stuff? They look like they're focusing for me anyways. But are they focusing on the stream enough to kind of pick up what I'm, once I get it at the right point of the distance from the camera to getting focused? All is good. Okay, thanks, Oso. 82 large date. Not in good shape. Well, it almost doesn't matter what happens with the rest of the hunt this morning. I am pretty happy with just the nickel hunt portion of the. Looks great. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Richard. 67. So there's our first 60 keeper. Seen better days. Really, this one here is pushing the point of being an off center too. I don't know how well it's going to focus. This is definitely heavy on the left and nowhere near. The rim is almost gone on the right, so that's kind of cool. And a decent looking 91. Not too much chatter on that. '91's probably a keeper. 2000, and this is going to 2 coins, and we're done with that roll. '96. Yeah, definitely. It definitely is. It's definitely heavy on the left. That's kind of neat. I mean, it's not as bad as you see some off centers and stuff, but so one more. Pennies are going to be a little underwhelming this morning. Unless the last roll here like makes up for all the other ones. But I'm thinking if this is just a typical roll, I think pennies will probably be a little underwhelming this morning. I mean, it would have to be, we'd have to hit like a Indian head or something really cool to help the pennies out. just seems like myself locally here, I don't do real good with pennies half the time. $69, so there's a 69 keeper. So we won't skunk this roll as far as keepers. Large date. I'm thinking with the way the weather is today here locally and stuff, it is very possible that I will be doing a late night scoping stream tonight to work through some of these that I'm piling into the jars this morning. Well, that's seen its better days. Holy smokes. Gonzo. $76. Yeah, I'm thinking 67 keeper. I'm thinking the pennies are going to be hanging in that underwhelming area this morning. 84. $94 graduating year. Excited to get to the dollars, though. Typically, there's not a lot in the dollars because it's a lot of presidential and it's a lot of Sacagawea, but it is probably my favorite coin. As far as denominations are concerned. 79. Different looking color to it. Roaded 90. Yes, I do collect. Here's a boy that's got the ring of death, huh? I do collect presidential dollars. I think that's probably my favorite dollar out of them. I'm not a huge Sacagawea fan. I think the reason the presidential dollars became my favorite is because I'm such a fan of the Civil War era and Ulysses S. Grant and just that time frame and stuff. So the presidential dollars kind of became my favorite coin. And I've got a book on 260 keepers in a row. I got a presidential dollar book that I'm working through, which once we get to the dollars, if we get anything that looks like it might upgrade, we'll see if there's anything that's going to upgrade. It seems like the Philadelphias are the tougher ones to find in truly a nice looking MS condition. I don't know if Philadelphia just, typically the coins out of Philadelphia for those dollars didn't wear as well, or what was that? I'm always talking and I forget the date. And I have a unboxing coming. So even on this 81, you can see the heaviness on the left rim, and it gets lighter on the right. But I have I've got a coin coming that will be an unboxing at some point, which is a presidential dollar. A little bit of rotation on that 71. A little more percentage than I usually see. But that'll be an unboxing mail day type video at some point when I get it. Nice 96. Last 4 or 5 pennies, and then we get into the 2 quarter rolls for the morning. And yeah, I have yet to really find like a really like a major rotation on a coin. You know, there's always seems like I get a couple small ones that are a little bit. So pennies didn't do too bad. 3 penny rolls. We had one that skunked. This last one, there were a couple 60 keepers. I'm going to just slide the pennies up out of screen because we'll put quarters down below the nickels now. Alright, 2 quarter rolls. I have fun with quarters because there's so much to look for. You like to collect the rotations, huh, Richard? Seems like everybody's got their thing, you know. It's like I got dollars and 17. There's the Alaska. Look for the extra claw. Don't look like it's there naked eye wise. 82. I keep all 82s and 83s. Now this is an 82 I probably shouldn't keep because they, 82 and 83, there were no mint sets. So they say if you ever find them in really good condition, they're keepers because there are no mint sets that essentially made finding good ones easy, but that one probably is not. I'm probably not going to keep that in the 80s collection. Just because that one wasn't in great shape. Yeah, I think you're right. The market hasn't woke up to rotations and stuff. It doesn't seem like it's a huge area of the hobby right now. What was that? That was a 20 something, wasn't it? Yeah. What did I throw? Low strike value. Keep that one. Are you talking about that 82 that I put in the jar? that I essentially didn't set aside. I mean, I can still keep it. It's just I didn't set it aside as a big time hit for the hunt. That's all. I'll run across it again once I start scoping the 80s jar. Is that the one you were talking about, keep though? The 1982? Okay. Wow. Different. That one will come across the scoping streams at some point. I probably agree with you, and I'll end up keeping that 82 just with the 82s for this fact of it being an 82. You are correct, Richard. This is probably my most hated quarter. I just something about it. I don't like the design that much. I don't know. Montana P. There's an 80. It's like Philadelphia. Looks like that's gonna be the mark on that. Guys wear out too fast. No burning planes. What was that? That's a 21. I do enjoy though putting quarters under the scope because there's, like I said, there's so much to look for. Here's an 81. $79. I have a feeling we're going to end up with another skunk roll on the first quarters here. Perry's Victory. I don't see a lot of these for some reason. Two. 91. 91 jar sounds a little empty. Or the 90 jar sounds a little empty. There's a 92 Philly. Another 92 Philly. There's another 82. A little nicer than the previous one. There's a minty Denver. Don't look like there's a dye chip in her hair up there like everybody looks for. $79. I think we got a skunk roll. 19. Make sure that's not a W. Denver. One. And to end the roll, 92. Second skunk roll of the morning. That's all right. I'm happy with what we did in the nickels, so. All right. Last quarter. last quarter of the morning. Then we get into the dollars. Dollars go quick. There's only 25 coins there. I should be looking at enders is what I should do. I'll start showing enders if I can remember. That's obvious. I think that's a little older. Probably not a ton. Nothing extremely standing out on the ends. I know this can review isn't close enough for probably anybody watching, but and another one, another 23 that I love. Seems like typically quarters I could strike out on. Pretty easily. 78. Don't look like there's a die chip on the hat. There's 24. I don't see a ton of 24s. $81. Didn't look like there was a burning building. 87. 86. Yeah, we ain't continuing the streak. 8. Was not a W. Another one of my favorites. There's an 09. That'll have to be looked at. That's a keeper. We'll look for the double dying and the doubling in the piano and the keys. I don't consider it a hit, but I do consider it a keep. I do like this design with the bird. 86. I don't see a naked eye die chip. $70. Almost got a 60 keeper. $90. Another 90. $94, graduating year. There's only a couple quarters that I like. We'll check the like a die chip or something with, you know, the naked eye. There's only a couple that I think you're going to be able to really see. Another graduating year. There we go. There's a bicentennial. That's a keep. I don't give it the hit button, but I do keep it. 6. Last quarter of the morning is a 99. All right. All right, the one roll of dollars. Enders. Obviously a presidential. Not a bad looking presidential. And a Susan B. Anthony, 79. Sometimes it's easier for me to do it over here as far as breaking the seal there. Alright. Whoop. There goes the Susan B. Anthony right off the table. Did you just come in now and got the last quarter as? So what I'm seeing is 1, 2, 3 more Susan B. Anthony's. Looks like there might be something right here with no edge lettering. Not to say that it's either worn or there is none, which would make it something a little different anyways. So let's get into the last dollar here, or the last roll of dollars, and then I'm going to switch over. We'll go to the scope for a handful of things anyways that we pulled this morning. 79, and that looks like it's going to be the fill to S. Kind of the blotchy S and I think that might be a lower mintage. I'll go with Susan B. Anthony's quick. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's the filled S or the clear S. It's 3 million. So I'm gonna call that a keep. We won't call it a hit, but we'll call it a keep. John Quincy Adams. Nice looking, but probably not an upgrade in the book. An 01 Denver, so nothing to really look for there. Lost my chat here. There we go. Now I can see. John Adams. Sometimes it's hard to see the edge on that. That's probably not an upgrade. 2000D. Jefferson. Here's a little better looking John Quincy Adams. A little bit of chatter on it. Could be an upgrade. We'll take a look at the book after we. 2001 Denver. Set any of them aside that might be upgrades. James Monroe. Like I said, I look for the P's that are in good shape because they're a little tougher to find decent shaped Billies. And I don't know why that is. Another 2000 Denver. James Madison. That probably is not going to be an upgrade. Washington. I know that's not an upgrade. Another Susan B. Anthony. That is a Denver, so no near date possible on that. There's a 2000 Phillies, so we can throw that under the scope. Make sure it's not the Cheerio, and it doesn't look like it's got a Wounded Eagle. We'll still scope it just for kicks. Thomas Jefferson. Another 2000 P. We can scope it. Don't look like it's there, but it never hurts to scope it, I guess. 99D. I don't hit a lot of 99s. Another Jefferson. Guessing it's not going to be an upgrade. Not a P, yep. Yeah, that whole Wounded Eagle typically should be pretty noticeable, probably with the naked eye. George Washington. Now that's not a bad one, but let's see if we can. It is a Denver, and I'm pretty sure I've got tons of George Washingtons that are in that shape or better. Another Quincy Adams in good shape. John Adams. My favorite dollar is Grant. That's like my chase dollar. 79D, another 70. James Madison. So nothing that really stood out in this dollar roll this morning. No NIFCs, so that is the hunt. That is the 4-3-2-1 hunt. I'm gonna switch cameras around here a little bit just to get the scope up. If anybody's still hanging out, we will scope the hits. Hour 20 minutes we're on right now, so about another 2-hour morning hunt. It'll be 2 hours by the time I get the scoping done, I'm guessing. All right, give me a second here, and I'm gonna change things over. Keep all Susan B. Anthony. Yeah, I keep every Susan B. Anthony I get. I have not turned any of the Susan B's back in to the bank. What are you looking for? Dates, anomalies. Yeah, I mean, there's certain dates that you look for in things. And then, mint errors is what we call them and stuff. Yeah, I'm a Susan B. Anthony fan. I realize they call it one of the most hated coins in the hobby. And that comes from, I read some history on it. That comes from when it came out. It was so close to the quarter size that people were confusing them. So they didn't like them because they didn't know just by feel whether it was a Susan B. Anthony dollar or a Washington quarter. I like it from a design side and stuff. I think it's kind of a cool antique-ish look. You know, even though it's not an old coin, I'm a fan of the look of it. Alright, so let's see here. Let's get these 2000 Ps out of the way quick. We'll do the dollars first, just because we know exactly what we're looking for in them. No detail in the feathers enough, and no wounded eagle. So unless there's a big die chip or something somewhere, this probably goes back to the bank at some point. I don't see anything standing out there. Tail feathers probably gone. Yep. And no wounded eagle, so. Then I just kind of go, once I am done looking for like what is like a documented known thing, then I start looking for like just your random, like Raz says, you know, anomalies of some sort that, you know, whether it's a die chip in a letter or something like that. Nope, just post-mint damage. I don't know if I've ever really... Maybe I've gotten a couple of 2000 Ps that had enough tail detail that if it was there, you could, you know, you could see it. But typically you get, I mean, that's the tail you get, you know. I was assuming this was 79S. It's well circulated. But it is definitely the S. I think there's too much damage there to be able to tell if it's the clear... The clear S and the filled S are only on proofs. So this is the straight 79S, which is 109. See anything? Try to change the focus just a tad. There we go. That looks a little better. Definitely circulated. But still kind of cool just to get an S and not the run-of-the-mill P&D. Let's look at this quarter. See if we got anything on this quarter that's gonna... This is the District of Columbia reverse. We'll check that piano area. Nothing standing out there. I guess there's you can find significant ones where like some of this Ellington is really doubled, and then there's some piano key stuff that if you get the right coin. And I don't see anything that's gonna get me excited about that. Just for kicks, we'll look at this bicentennial. Seeing anything crazy on the I know there's a double die on the bicentennial, but I don't know exactly where it's supposed to be found without looking at the book quick. I know it's in the letters, but I'm not seeing it on the front or the reverse. A little bit of weirdness, maybe. Maybe a little bit of weirdness there, huh? I don't know. I'm not confident enough to call it doubling. Let's go to the nickels. I just want my book for some of these nickels. Most of this is all going to be too worn, too circulated to really pick up on a true double die or anything like that. See, like, that's the perfect example. Now, I don't think there is a repunchment mark on a 63 Denver, but could be wrong. Yeah, all I see is a double die verse on the date. Cherry pickers got nothing on it. So let's do the die chip. Check. Nothing. Nothing to get excited about there. Probably not going to show us enough to find any type of doubling, but maybe a chip. Nothing there. 64, and I think this was a Denver, so if the mint mark's in good enough shape. Nope. Could never call that if you wanted to. Not a whole lot there. $69 Denver. At some point. Probably see it on the other side of the building. No, not really. Alright, this was the actual good roll of nickels from this one. So 54. Usually not in these pages too much. $54D. Supposed to have a repunched mint mark, but I don't think that's it, and I don't think the coin's pristine enough to even speculate. Good rim damage. Pluribus, E Pluribus is supposed to have some doubling, but should be pretty noticeable on a good coin, so. Still a cool hunt find though. And this one's not in that bad a shape. Not at least of what I can see at this point. Really not too much to look for on a 48. Let's see. So the obverse is not bad at all. I mean, one way I kind of like judge my coins, especially once you get into the 40s and 50s, is there's still definition between the rim and the top of the lettering. And this one's got it a pretty good rim all the way around. A little bit of double rimming on the right side. Let's see what it's not a bad 48. I mean, there's still definition. I mean, it's definitely, the steps are practically gone, but a lot of times you don't see any steps on something this old. And the fields are not bad. Let's see what the top looks like. I don't know if anybody's still here, but I mean the details on the buildings are always going to be gone. But that is not a bad 48, Denver. Guessing at Denver. I don't know if I pulled a 64 Philly or not, to tell you the truth. I don't remember. What is a Philly? Very typical 64-ish, in my opinion. I think this was the big one. This was the big one. Yeah, 53S, 19 million. Most of the definition's gone. If it's gone on the back, but it is pretty cool to hit the 53S. I don't know if 53S is that at least a semi-key date? No, it's not even a semi-key date. At least not according to that document. Still 19 million though. It's pretty cool. That's a cool find. Might be one of the cooler ones of the year so far. Man, I get a lot of 64s. Two nickels left. $68S. Some repunched mint mark stuff on proofs, but I don't think this is a proof. At least I'm not leaning towards this. Still a cool find. That 48 has got more steps than the 68. Denver. D over S, but that definitely is not there. All right, quick look at the pennies. I don't know if there's going to be stand out. Suppose I better check my book here. $69D's got a missing FG. And a mark. FG's definitely there. I'll let you know. All right, one more penny and then we're calling it a day. All right. Calling that a hunt for the morning. I don't know if anybody's still hanging out, but anybody who stopped in and hung out, thanks for hanging out. Oh, so Richard, Raz, thanks for hanging out this morning through the hunt, and talk to everybody later. See you next time. Take care. Be well.